Hey y'all, it's your girl Cornieta, and we are back with another episode of Leadership for Beginners podcast. Listen, in this podcast, we are here to help our new and aspiring leaders lead with clarity and build winning teams, y'all. It doesn't get any better than this, so let's go ahead and jump in real quick. All right, y'all. So we're back with episode number 2. And in episode number 2, we're really going to be sticking with the basics this week. And the reason why we're going to be sticking with the basics for the next couple of weeks is because creating a foundation is pivotal if you want to be able to have a successful journey in leadership. And as much as I want to dive into all of the resources and all of the how-tos, I just think that it's so important for us to be able to kind of stay right here and set the tone right from the beginning. You guys always hear that the leader should set the tone. And this is kind of where it starts from. It starts from you creating the foundation for your leadership journey. So in this topic, to be honest, this really can go for any type of leader. So the leader who is a new leader, an aspiring leader, or a transitioning leader. And when I say transitioning leader, new leader, aspiring leader, I believe that at some point in our journey as becoming a leader, we all become a new leader. Because it doesn't matter if you're being transitioned or hired from a different company to the company that you're currently at, which is called onboarding, or you're being elevated into the department at your organization or at your business or at your company called inboarding. It is a new responsibility and a new role, even though you are not new to the sector of leadership. So because you're having this new responsibility and this new role, you really are in this new space, you have to understand different things. You have to adapt to different things. You have to let go of some things that you may have used to get here. And we talked about in the last episode that there is a way to balance how to use the elements that you use to get this new position, as well as being open to what the position has to offer and what you're going to have to let go. So it's so important that you understand that at some point in your journey, you're going to be considered a new leader. And honestly, understanding that concept really helps with you transitioning much better. I have seen so many times individuals who come into organizations and they have failed because they come in with the concept that they got this. They've already been around the block. They know how to do it. This is nothing. And that very nothing blows up in their face because they come in with the wrong mindset that they have all the answers. And when you're entering into a new role, when you're entering into a new position, the best thing you can do is act dumb. And I mean that in the most respectable way, is to act dumb, is to act like you don't know anything about the people, anything about the culture, anything about the organization. Just wipe everything out of your mind and begin to learn and just begin to understand how everything flows, how you are going to be able to be the leader that this team needs, as well as the leader that you know that you are proud of as well. So it is so important for you to know that at some point we're going to be a new leader. So adapt that concept, go with it. So now, you know that on this podcast, we are not about sugarcoating. We do not sugarcoat it. And that's the culture of our podcast. And I'm just going to let you know up front, that's just how we're going to roll. And so just like a company has a culture, just like a family has a culture, just like an organization has a culture, this podcast has a culture as well. And so I just want to let you know up front that if you do not create a foundation for your leadership, you will fail. It's going to happen. You're going to fail. There's no way around it, because leadership is essentially taking all of the skills that you have learned, and you are taking those skills and you are using them to navigate through decision making. You're using those very skills to learn how to develop the team. You're using those skills that you have learned and acquired over time. You could have read books, you could have went to conferences, you could have went to school and got the degree. It doesn't matter. However, you obtain those skills, you're taking those skills and you're using it to make sure that the organization either meets the expectation that they have for their organization or exceeds it. That's what leadership is. It is not about the fancy cars. It is not about the cute dress, the Prada, the Gucci. It is not even about the red bottoms, okay? Not about the suits, you guys. It's all about the structures that you set in place to make sure that you're successful. Everyone that is hanging on to your vision is successful, but most of all, that the company that you are a part of that has just promoted you or has just hired you is going to benefit from the expertise that they saw in you prior to you entering into this role. Okay? So that's what we're talking about. So one of the number one ways that you can determine that a leader has taken time to sit down and assess the foundation of their leadership journey is by the clarity of their vision. Okay. You're going to look at, is it clear? Can you understand it? Is it something that they can repeat? Are they excited about it? Because listen, I have seen some leaders that be casting some visions, and I'm like, sweetie, are you excited about the vision? Because if you're not showing any excitement about the vision, then why do you think that I want to buy into what you are doing? I don't want no parts of no vision or no parts of no team that you're leading or anyone that is leading, any leader that is leading, okay, that is not excited about what they're doing, that doesn't have a spark in their eye when they talk about how the company is going to be elevated, how their life is going to be elevated, how the people that they're going to be leading is going to be impacted, because the vision matters, right? The vision is what gives us the clarity in where we're going. It points us in the direction that we're going in. And so you have to make sure that that leader can recite it, that they're excited about it. You have to make sure that their action correlates even with the vision that they have. So it's one thing to say that we're going to the right, but then you see your leader going to the left. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought we were going to fight the giants, and you running from the giants, and then I'm left to fight my own battle. Hello. What's going on here? Okay. So there's definitely some miscommunication, and there's no clarity in who's going to fight, where we're going to go, and what we're going to do. So it's so important that as a leader that you have a vision for your team. And most of the time your vision should be given like, it should be given like light in the darkness. Okay. And like, it should be given like, we gonna make it through no matter what. You know, your vision should be given like, baby, with me on this team, we gonna make it work. This company's about to elevate because I'm on here. Not because you're cocky, but because you're confident in what you are bringing to the table, because you sat down for a second and you thought about, what is this journey going to look like? And how do I want to make sure that as a leader, I'm doing everything I can to make everything move in the right direction. I want you to remember this principle real quick, and I'm going to read it off for you guys. I want you to remember it. It says, the clarity you develop today will help you through the chaos you face tomorrow. I hope you caught that. Okay, I'm gonna need you to write that down. If you driving, you can voice text it. If you at home and you sitting, then you can pull out your pen and your paper. You can write it down. Okay, because the clarity you develop today will help you through the chaos you face tomorrow. The reality is, in leadership, things gonna hit the fan. We talked about it before. It gonna hit the fan. It always does. So you need to make sure that when it hits the fan, you have clarity on how to navigate through that, because that's what leaders are, that's what your team is looking for. They're looking for someone that can navigate through all of that. And so it's so important for you to be able to do that, right? And the same principle you can use in any area of your life, because it transcends in any areas of your life. Whether it's parenthood, relationships, whether it's spiritual development, it doesn't matter. It could be going through the grocery store. Listen, I don't know, but if I have any fans out there who, understand where I'm coming from, you're the only one that kind of like goes to the grocery store, and because you put the list in your head, and not on a piece of paper, you go in for maybe some milk, some cereal, I don't know, some Pop-Tarts, just throwing out some sweets out there. But you come out with eggs, bacon, rice, chicken. I mean, the list is just going. It's given too much. It's given it's expensive. It's given we didn't go in there for this, right? And so that is an indicator that you need a list. Like you need to write it down. You need to put it in your reminder notes. You need to pull out your notes from your phone and you need to write that down because clarity is important in any area of our life. So I can't even walk through the store without having clarity. Okay. I can't even walk through the store without having clarity. So clarity is so important. I find that I'm more successful in my life when I am clear on what I'm pursuing. And the reason why is because it shows me one, how am I going to get there? Right. And then it shows me two, when I get there, what is it going to do for me? But most of all, it also shows me when I get there, how will I know that I got there? I think that's the most difficult thing for anyone in life is that we want something, we desire something, but we don't have anything in place that shows us or tells us what it looks like when we get there. We want to be successful. We want the winning team. We want everyone to be happy for us. We want everyone to be happy because we did something good. We want the company to promote us. But at the same time, how will you know that you have been successful? And if you don't define what success means to you at an early stage in your journey as a leader or as an individual, as a parent, as a spouse, as just an everyday citizen, okay? If you don't determine what that definition is, you're going to find yourself comparing yourself to every single person that you come in contact with. Let me tell you, social media is out of control because I can go on that bad boy and be swiping and then have to remind myself, Corneta, girl, come up off this social media because you find yourself saying, I should be doing that or I'm not doing anything in my life. And if you guys know me, I don't need to do nothing else. I don't need to add another thing to this list because there's more than enough stuff on this list. But social media will make you feel like, girl, you're not doing nothing. So it's so important for you to develop or define what success looks like for you in the beginning of your journey. So you can also know what it looks like when you get there. That's so important. For me, creating a foundation is like giving clarity to your steps. Creating a foundation is like pointing yourself in the right direction, right? Creating a foundation is like giving directions to your team. They know exactly what they're getting. They know exactly where they're going, and they don't have to try to figure out what you're doing because they know where how they're supposed to move and where they're supposed to be moving to. See, the power of clarity is something that I had to learn over time. It wasn't something that I developed overnight, right? Just like nothing that we develop that lasts is going to be something that is developed overnight. Our clarity in who we are and what we're going to do with our lives requires that we sit down and take time in developing that foundation. And so what I realized quickly is that even though I had been a nurse for about 7 years at the time, there's a difference between being a bedside nurse, someone who, take vitals, who is passing out medications, who's assessing the scene to make sure there's no emergency. Like, did somebody just fall? Like, there is a difference between that nurse and being a nurse who is a director of nursing, someone who's creating policies, someone who is coming up with different ways on how to make sure that the team is working together. And honestly, just making sure that the team is there, the staff is there, because the reality is leadership is getting on the floor and passing the medication when them bad boys don't want to show up. Okay. We're not going to talk about it. Okay. So, as a director of nursing, like I realized quickly there's a complete difference between the level of nurses. Not that one is better than the other, but that there's a difference in the responsibility in the role. And even though I had been a pastor for about 3 years at the time, I had been in leadership, so I knew a little thing about leadership. It just wasn't the same because there is a difference between leading people in faith and working with people in the workplace. So even though in your faith it says turn your cheek if somebody do you wrong, baby, in the workplace it says step on your neck. Okay, it's called trying to show you out. Like, even though there are individuals that are on your team, that may be on your team, that will never ever step in the position that you have stepped in. They will never go get the degree. They will never step out and be bold in doing that. They are the very same one that will try to make you look bad, that will try to make you seem as if you are not the best fit. And if you don't create a foundation that is clear, if you don't set a foundation for yourself, you're going to get caught up in the drama, the gossip. You're going to get caught up in trying to please people and prove to people that you can be the best leader. And you're not going to focus on how you can develop the skills that is necessary to make sure that this position is a position that not just welcomes you, but also shows the expertise that you have. And so it's so important that you don't get caught up in all of the stuff, but you take the time to start developing the clarity of your leadership journey. Are you getting me, right? It's so important because what I realized quickly that in leadership, it's a lot like just helping people to manage their emotions and dealing with different personalities and bringing them in together and saying, listen, Sally, I know you always get angry, and Johnny, you always walking out in the middle of meetings, and Sue, you never show up on time, but we gonna figure out how we gonna put all these personalities together and we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. So that is so important for you to know. We were not out here trying to prove to nobody nothing. We're out here trying to make sure that the legacy that we leave is a legacy that is worth leaving behind. Okay, so let's come on and bring this in because we're gonna wrap this up. So how do you build this foundation that we have spent the last few minutes talking about? You really want to look at 3 elements, and the element number 1 is where you're coming from. You have to know your family tree. You have to know your family legacy. You have to know who birthed you, what city you're in, what state, demographics, nurture versus nature, all of that. Okay. You want to know where you are. Where are you right now? Where's your mindset? Who are you? Who have you developed into? What are the goals that you have set? And then you also want to look at where you're going. What's the impact that you want to have? Like, why are you even here? Like, how did you get here? Why did you stay here? Because if you stayed here, you're probably slightly crazy like the rest of us. Why and how and where? All of those questions you have to ask. And over the last couple of years, I've had people stop me, especially new leaders, and ask me, Corneta, how did you get here? Who was your mentor? What did you do? How do you know that this is your purpose? And how do you know that for the season of your life that this is what you want? I created this course that we are currently in the process of uploading, which I'm super excited about, that really talks about leading with clarity. And it really kind of just walks you through the same exact concept and teaches you how to develop your core values for your leadership. And listen, you can buy it, not buy it. Listen, it's all up to you. But I'm saying that the same technique that I have used in my life to create the leadership journey, to create the successful leadership journey that I've had, is the same technique that I use to help other companies create core values that shapes the culture of their company. So we're not just out here just giving stuff to be giving stuff. We out here giving stuff because we have seen it, proved it, done it, and seen that it's working for others. Matter of fact, it is working for me. So these core values are super amazing and they're so necessary for your life. And listen, I'll tell you a few of my core values. Okay, because I just felt like dancing for a second because I felt like for me right there, like I had something that really benefited me, and I'm super excited that it's going to benefit you in the future and now. Come on. And I would tell you, that's part of my leadership. That's part of my leadership, my core value, right? One of my core values is that I execute from my knowledge bank, that whatever I learn, I find a way to pass it on to the next person because I believe that's what good leaders do. They're not selfish in their ways, but they hand off what they have learned. Another one of my core values is learning is priority. For me, learning is top of the line. I want to learn different things. I want to learn about different cultures, different foods, different attitudes, different personality, different people, because I believe that that's the way that I'm going to be able to be an effective leader because I can understand who you are no matter where you're coming from. Another one of my core values is gracious in speech to myself and to others. Because, baby, I can't be out here telling you that you're amazing, you're great. Come on, girl, you can do it. Okay, dude, you're doing it. And then I'm going in the mirror every day talking to myself like, you are nothing, you're worthless. Oh my God, they don't listen to you. Who do you think you are? It doesn't work that way. So I have to learn how to speak grace over my life, just like I have to learn how to speak grace over the lives of those that I'm leading as well. And so those are some of my core values for my leadership journey. And I developed those using the very same tactic. And I know that you can develop even some amazing core values that can lead, that can help you lead in your journey, because those core values really are like a GPS. It helps guide you into your journey. My core values have helped me to determine what companies I'm going to work at. My core values have determined what type of clients I will have. My core values have helped me to determine when to say no and when to say yes, how to speak to people, how not to speak to people. All of that, it is guiding every single day. So I want to leave this one tip with you guys, because whether you are someone who is of faith or not of faith, and you're just here because you're like, girl, listen, there is no other podcast out there for the new leaders. You're the one. We're going to listen to you. We're going to eat the meat, spit out the bones. Baby, that's your business, right? You can do what's necessary for you and your journey as a leader. But I believe that regardless of your faith, that if you can just hang on to this one concept, that true leadership is really about impacting those around you. It is not about your promotion, your resume, and the amount of money or the salary that you can get, but it's really about the impact that you have on the lives of others. And when you get into that mindset, child, the wealth is unreal. Okay. The opportunities unreal, because you have tapped into something greater, understanding that life is bigger than yourself and being a leader is bigger than yourself, because sometimes you have to sacrifice and sometimes you don't want to, but you have no choice. But that is a part of leadership, right? And if you think of yourself as this, think of yourself as a business, that whoever comes in contact with you as the business owner, as the one who owns the product, they're probably going to when they come in contact with you, they're probably going to come for you for advice. They're probably going to come for you because of the time that they want to spend in your presence. Maybe you're a very joyous person, or you give off the sense of peace. Maybe when they come in contact with you, they're seeking you for your knowledge. But if anyone is coming in contact with you because of the fact that you offer any of that, I want you to think of what they're going to get. And are they going to get that every single time? Think of yourself as a brand, that when someone comes in contact with you as a leader, that they're going to get the same exact thing every time, as a mother, as a person, as an auntie, as an uncle, as a leader, as a business owner. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. Think of yourself as a brand in the sense that when someone comes in contact with you, they're going to get the same thing every time. That's what creating a foundation for your leadership journey looks like. That's what it looks like when you've created a core value for your leadership journey. It means that every time someone comes in contact with you, they're getting the same thing every single time. That means they're not going to get crazy Corneta today and then calm Corneta tomorrow. They're not going to get Corneta who's selfish over here today, but then Corneta who's going to tell them all about the good stuff and the plan coming down the road tomorrow. Or they're not going to get Corneta who's going to chew your head off today. Okay. They're going to get the Corneta who's going to be nice and it's okay, girl, type of person. You want to make sure that as a leader, you're consistent, because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for someone who is consistent every single time. That's the leader that can get people to move, that can get people to start doing things above and beyond, that can get companies to excel because they're consistent every single time. Okay, y'all, listen, it was good talking to ya. It was good talking to ya. I want you guys to go ahead over there to my channel, and I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe, because I know that this has been blessing you guys just as it has been blessing me just talking to you guys, okay? So subscribe, like, and share, you guys, all this good content, because I know somebody out there needs it. I know you need it, and I know I needed it when I didn't have it, and I'm so glad that I could be in this place to help every single one of you. All right.